We're at Bauer with Jacob Fowler, Boston College goaltender, Montreal Canadiens prospect. I'm going to get this out of the way. It's the worst question in the world. Were your friends immature about your draft position?
Not as much my friends. I'd say my dad was probably the main culprit on that one.
Ugh. Where were you picked?
I was the 69th overall pick in 2023.
Okay.
Your dad enjoyed that more than anybody?
I don't know. It's just, I think when you're kind of sitting there and you're looking at the board, obviously, you're just looking up there. And then when my name got called and my dad looked and saw the number, he was kind of first to make a joke after we kind of soaked it all in. But kind of just a funny thing to always look back and definitely never forget what number you were.
This is our first time at Bauer, and it is absolutely insane. How like you've been here a bunch, I take it.
This is my first time actually in the studio.
In this studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you did the Bauer Combine and everything. What was that like?
Yeah, it was super cool. Obviously, to be around a bunch of the other Bauer athletes was probably the best part, but just the whole family and community of Bauer is pretty special, and really happy to be a part of it.
You got some time with Vasilevsky, right? Like, what did you pull from him?
Yeah, he's elite. Just a really special person, but just a super nice guy, pretty down to earth, and being on the ice with him, you get to see kind of the tools that he has and why he's been so dominant over these past few years.
We were just talking to Ryan Leonard about keeping up with the Capitals and just the insane season that they're having. You also have been drafted by such a fun team. Do you watch the Canadiens much, or are you just kind of focusing on your current gig?
No, yeah, I definitely follow them for sure. And, you know, they've been on a tear as of late, and it's fun to see. Obviously, know a couple of the guys there, and, you know, I've been a fan of the Canadiens before I even got drafted there, so it's cool to see the run they're having.
You're pretty familiar locally with Lane Hudson, and what's the kind of scouting report on what he's been able to do at the NHL level in Montreal? You got to be excited to possibly be a teammate with him in a couple of years or whenever it is. Yeah,
I mean, I've been playing against Lane since I was really young, and he's always just been one of those players you're just like kind of blown away every time he has the puck on his stick, and to kind of see the seamless kind of jump that he's had to the NHL level has been pretty cool to see, and got to play with him a bit last year and excited to maybe getting the chance to again one day.
I know you have another game before then, but like your Boston College and the Beanpot is on Monday, and the team hasn't won recently. Like, what is the mindset like? And I guess just like the preparation. Like, is that a thing that it's always circled at the beginning of the year, but as the days and weeks get closer, are you like, we cannot and will not lose this?
Especially as somebody from Florida, like what did the Beanpot even like mean to you coming here? Were you aware of it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely knew kind of what it was, but I think, you know, the Beanpot's kind of one of those things that when you go to any of those the four schools that are in it, you always have that kind of circled there because, you know, it's a championship you get to play for in season that's bigger than all the kind of icebreaker tournaments or just mid-season tournaments you can play in. That, you know, the city pride and school pride that you get from playing in it, and, you know, to get the chance to win it would be incredible. And I think for us, as much as you want to look ahead to the second Monday, you got to, you know, take care of business the first night. And Northeastern's been really good in the Beanpot always, and you know, play the defending champs the first night's can definitely be a good test.
How do you feel about the marching bands?
I like it. I think when we score, at least, it's nice to hear, you know, our school song playing, and I think it's kind of a cool thing. We don't really have a goal song at BC. It's more of you hear the horn and then you hear our fight song go on. So I think that's kind of a cool thing with the bands.
Do you pay attention to which songs they play? Because I would go to the Beanpot as a kid, and especially once you get all the marching bands in there and they're doing all the different things, it's a big distraction. Do you listen to any of that stuff? Do you pay attention to it, or are you just insanely locked in?
I mean, I'm pretty locked in during games, but obviously depending on the song, you kind of hear it in the background, and it's kind of hard not to want to sing it along to it. But for the most part, you're pretty locked in, and it depends on the song. You'll hear it.
What's the player marching band relationship like? Like, do you all know who each other are? Do you take classes together? Because you're all kind of rowing in the same direction.
As of last year, I think as we kept going down our run, we were together more. Obviously, like the regional last year was when students were on break a little bit. That, you know, the band was nice enough that they came with us on the trip down to Providence, and I wouldn't say we know them all super personally, but definitely have classes with them. You're always around them. That it's pretty cool to see the impact they have on the games is, we hear them on the ice.
Who has the bigger ego, like the average hockey player or the average marching band member?
See, like, I don't think
Because
I know.
like if they kill it, like if they're on a run where they're like, you know what, we've been like doing a lot of, I don't know, like Sabrina Carpenter songs, and everyone's really feeling us. These guys aren't scoring goals. It might get to their head.
That's a tough question, but I will say, like, kind of what you were just talking about, like, it's pretty cool, like, when you're on the ice, that when the band's playing, that the students are singing along to the band. I think that's kind of a cool part. Like, there's always gonna be different songs over the speakers that'll get the students going, but I think one of the coolest things is when they're playing a certain song and all the students will then keep singing it during the game, because the band's gonna stop, but the students will keep singing.
What's the toughest building or crowd to deal with on the road?
Whew. I mean, there's definitely a bunch. Obviously, being a goalie, it's never easy to play on the road, but I think the hardest building I've played in was probably Maine. Playing up there, it was pretty tough. The students are right on top of you, don't give you really a chance to breathe, and it's pretty early in my career, college last year, and my mom's name was getting chanted in warm-up, so it's definitely not the easiest building to play in, and we didn't have the best results there, but definitely Orono.
They chanted your mom's name?
Yeah, it was, you always hear kind of rumors about different chirps or stuff fans might say, but hearing my mom's name chanted during warm-ups was not really on my my bingo card there.
Do you have to like scrub your like internet presence and like information as much as you possibly can before hitting one of those buildings? Because I assume that like other students would do research and try to get under your skin, or like find pictures or whatever it may be that you don't want like on a poster board or whatever it is.
I mean, I personally try to stay off social media. Like, I don't really like to
Smart.
be on it too much. Don't get wrapped up into it. But, when you get to this level, there's always going to be stuff on the internet of you, and you try to keep it as clean as you can. And people will still find a way to, turn some pictures of you into some funny billboards. But it's all good fun. There's nothing really too bad. It's just kind of playful.
Is the goalies are weird thing over? I feel like it is. Like, did that even exist when, you're 20 years old? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say goalies are weird? Is that stereotype still going on? Because I feel like it's kind of dead or dying.
I don't know. I never really got too wrapped up into it. I've always played goalie and forward, so I was always like, you call me weird, I'm only half weird because I play both. But, I definitely think goalies definitely have their kind of odd routines and tendencies, but I only have a couple of those little quirks, so I wouldn't say I'm weird, but I definitely have my goalie moments.
You definitely have more, and I'm not saying that one's better than the other, but you have more forward energy than you do goaltender, just like personality wise, it seems. So what are the kind of traditional goalie quirks you have?
I've heard a bunch of them. Like, a bunch of goalies like to be alone or kind of get left alone on game days, when I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of try not to think about the game as much as possible. That really, until my pregame routine starts, it's kind of just a normal day. So whatever that could be, to just, be a kid and hang out with your teammates, not think about, we just had the Battle of Comm Ave. It's a pretty big weekend. So the last thing you want to do is be thinking about a 60-minute game longer than 60 minutes. So kind of just keep it playful and light, and play the game when you get on the ice.
You ever miss playing forward?
Oh, I still never like in practice or anything, but we have the ice open pretty much all the time, and I still go out and play forward quite a bit.
At the combine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably in the shooting room, probably top 3 most minutes on our team right now in the shooting room. So I love to kind of just mess around and do it, because I think that's kind of where I started the love for the game, and I still play both, but just stuck to goalie.
Goalies are scoring too many goals these days.
Yeah.
It's becoming like a no-hitter, where it used to be really cool, and now it happens. It used to mean something. Now it happens every 5 minutes. How do you feel about, because you could score as a forward, just abstaining from that whole endeavor and search? Just be like, once you turn pro, be like, hey everybody, just so you know, I'm not even trying for it. So don't ask for it. I could score if I wanted to, but I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. Like, I couldn't give you the exact headline, but there's actually a goalie in college this year that went and transferred to play, I want to say in the ACHA, as a forward. And all the boys were joking that, obviously I'm not going to leave BC mid-year, but, I've always wanted to play forward. I goalie in Michigan a couple years ago dressed as a forward for a game, that it was like just kind of a cool thing that not very many guys do both. I definitely couldn't play college hockey as a forward yet, but maybe a couple more trainings.
Whatever your version of a senior day is going to be, even if you don't quite make it to a senior day, just be like, hey, coach, this is my senior day. What do you say?
I'm playing out.
Yeah, left wing.
How many goals do you think you could score on Leonard's line playing a full season at BC?
Scoring like against him, like if they were playing goalie or just them?
No, like you're
If
playing
you were
on
a
his
forward.
line. Like you're on Leonard's line.
I
How many
mean,
goals you scoring
I
over
just
a full
sit
season?
at the front of the net and hopefully they shoot it off me or something. I mean, just as long as you get one, maybe. But those guys are just unbelievable. Probably just stay out of their way as much as anything.
Do your forwards feel any sort of pressure to perform well in front of you because you're probably thinking, I can do this. I'm just choosing to play goalie instead.
I don't know if it's much of that as much as it's, we kind of have a joke going to different games. It's like, you guys up there do your job. I'll find a way to just make one more save on the back end. And, I think you make one more save every night, you'll win a lot of hockey games. So I don't care if it's 10-9 or 1-0 like we had a couple nights ago. It's just they do their job, I'll do mine. And I think it kind of what makes our team so great.
So other than the obvious reason that you're very good at it, why do you play goalie?
I fell in love with it right away. I think my parents didn't really want me to play goalie right away. My dad picked up hockey late and played forward, that it was like, I learned to skate at 2. Like it was kind of a known thing. I was going to be a hockey player. And when I was playing house league, I was either 4 or 5. I was still so competitive and hated losing so much that I think we were losing and my goalie was playing terrible. And I started yelling at my dad who was coaching, that was like our goalie's so bad. Like I want to play. I don't want to lose. Like I didn't care if we didn't score. I was just like, we won't get scored on in my head if I went and played. And was fascinated with the pads and everything. And once they went on, they kind of never came off. I played goalie and forward. I'd always play my age group as a forward and then a year or 2 up as a goalie. And until I was around 8, I didn't really have to switch full time. So that was when it really got real.
So I've never heard that. So it's control.
That's a funny origin story, because like you're getting mad at the guy and you're like, I want that position. And I get it from your perspective, but like, that the goalie is the first person that everybody looks to and yells at when shit goes wrong. And you're like, I want that job.
Not when I was 5. Like I didn't know that, but still, definitely looking back on it, maybe it's like, maybe I wish I would have played forward a little more, but I love it. I kind of love the goalie kind of has an impact on the game, because win or lose, it's not like a team's going to have 0 shots. So I like having that kind of control of the game, whereas a forward, you got to sit on the bench and kind of watch for more than half the game, that it's, I get to be out there for the whole time, which is pretty fun.
What's the worst goal you've ever given up? Like, what's the most shame you've ever felt?
This is actually a really funny story. Another Bauer guy. I was in the brick tournament when I was 9 or 10, and Rutger McGroarty was trying to ice the puck from behind his goal line. And the rink is in a mall with like a sunroof. And I totally lost the puck in the sun. And I thought it was going to go wide for icing. And I'm just standing there. I turn around and look, and it went in the net. So it was a full ice goal. And he scored it. And I think I got pulled right after. So it wasn't the most fun moment in my hockey career, but definitely something I'll never forget. And he won't either.
They pulled you right after that?
Yeah.
The brick tournament, if you don't know, folks, is a thing where a bunch of children get together and play hockey against other children. Well, fuck, that'll get you ready for the pros, I guess. Just stakes are stakes.
I mean, I want to say it was like 5 or 6-1 at that point when it went in, but it was still
You're like, there were others.
kind of the backbreaker there.
Oh, unbelievable. Have there been any plays, I mean, while we're kind of having a laugh about mishaps, have there been any like plays with the puck or anything that have been particularly amusing?
I mean, I had one this weekend, actually. I know I get pretty antsy to play the puck up the ice a bit, and I like springing guys for breakaways and stuff, and sometimes I get a little too anxious on it, and
It's the forward in you.
I think I've had too many men on the ice penalties caused just from me throwing the puck up the wall this year. So we'll definitely cut that out of my game now. But just kind of that forward instincts in me that I just want to play offense, even from the net out.
One of our favorite plays was, who was it, Pete, in the Devils
Schmid.
game? Akira Schmid. We were at a Blue Jackets game, and we've talked about this with every goalie we've had on. But
the best.
there was a delayed penalty, and he was getting off the ice, and the puck was there, and he was like, yeah, might as well. And he played it and immediately got a penalty called for it.
Played it over the red line.
Have you
Crazy.
ever had that temptation to be like, could make a play here, show the folks what I've got?
When I was in juniors, there was actually a couple of close calls because I actually could. I think the rule is just you can't play it across the red.
Yeah.
But I don't know the exact rule because I don't really get out there much. But when I was in juniors, the puck kind of ran into me before a guy got on the ice. And I kind of had to play it and bump it back to a guy. Like that was kind of one of those cool moments that I've never played the puck
I've never been out
above
here
the blue line before as a goalie before. So that was kind of a cool moment.
But when you do that, I'm sure you're like, still got it.
Well, the coach is still like, it's kind of a rule you don't see in hockey much, that even they're sitting there like a little nervous. Hopefully I didn't take a penalty or anything stupid, but it worked out.
As you are a college kid, do you care much about fashion?
I'd definitely say more as of recent, but more with just kind of suits and dress clothes. Like that's tough.
Okay. The reason I bring it up is because we are at Bauer, and I want to know if you'd seen the Kith collaboration.
I have seen it.
Which is insane. Have you gotten it?
I haven't. I've
Sean?
seen it though. I've seen some pictures of it. Oh my God.
That is from Bauer, but where you decided that we would be the ones
We're
to
gonna
gift it
steal
to.
Valor and give it to you.
These are
So
sick.
you can thank us.
The stuff on the like print on the inside of the gloves are so nasty. It's so nasty.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's got it everywhere on here.
Yeah.
These things are sick.
Are the pregame fits a big deal in college hockey? Pardon my ignorance.
A little bit, yeah. I think me and a couple of the guys are a little not competitive, but that kind of hockey model of look good, feel good, play good is very true. And I think the last couple of years I've got a little crazier and crazier with some of the suits that I wear, and other guys too, that we all kind of have good fun seeing what each other throw on coming to the rink.
I would imagine that like some guys get it pretty badly if they don't dress super well. Who's the main target for you guys?
No, it's not that he doesn't dress super well. We just have like a little joke, like
You're like, we just don't like this guy.
no, we all
reasons.
we all love him, but we always mess with him no matter how good he looks. That it's what is it, dressed like an idiot day, and we love the kid. He could look unbelievable, best he's ever looked, but every time we see him, it's dressed like an idiot day for him. But
Who is it?
I'm writing that down. Dress like an idiot day.
it's my roommate. I don't want to throw him under the bus too bad, but he doesn't have bad style. Like he always looks good. It's just even if he's wearing the best outfit, we'll look out of it.
You're like, what we're doing is we're just messing with his psyche. He's doing nothing
No,
wrong.
he's unreal, and he kind of plays into it too. Like even if he sees me walk right into it, I know I look good. He'll say, "Oh, dress even dumber day." Like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like good one." My bad.
Pardon my ignorance. Is that the parlance these days? Is that how college kids talk to each other?
I promise we're like all like really good friends and nice teammates. It's just
No, but is that like the meanest thing you can come up with? Dress like an idiot?
well, I'm not
day?
gonna look at him and just say like, "Hey, like you dress terrible." I'll just be like, no matter how good he looks, I'll be like, "Oh, dress like an idiot day." Because there's some guys in our team with superstitions. Like on game days, they'll only wear like team apparel. Like they'll give us, we get team shoes at the beginning of every year, jacket and everything. And some guys have this weird thing because if we're on the road and they play good, well, when you go on the road, all you wear is team apparel. That they'll go around campus that whole day and team jumpsuit, shoes, everything. And the first time it was actually like, he dressed like an idiot day because he was wearing all team apparel. It was like, we're not going on the road, but kind of stuck. He scored our first 2 goals of the year. That whatever works for him. It's been playing well.
I love the idea of that, like hurting feelings and you two getting mad at each other. Like, hey, what's going on between you two? He said it was dressed like an idiot day, and I thought that I had dressed well.
It's definitely not as deep as that, but the first time I think it may have threw him off a bit.
I do gotta ask you had your glory at the World Juniors, but how much FOMO did you have with the guys this year who got to go and double it back up?
I was super jealous. Obviously, like a bunch of the guys that are on the team, you're good friends with. Obviously, before the USA stuff, but when they went back this year, you're more of a fan than a teammate at that point, and it was so cool to kind of take a step back. And we were on break, so to kind of get away from playing and to just sit there and watch that great hockey was really cool and a little weird at the same time to kind of see your teammates kind of wearing the same jersey you were in the year before, and to get a BC golden goal like that was awesome. And all those guys came back with kind of that winning mentality that we want down the stretch.
Any good stories that were brought back from from Ottawa?
Well, I think one of the coolest parts was our whole team had to go back, the guys that weren't at World Juniors, December 29th, as like a mid-season kind of training camp to get back in shape for the second half. And so we were all there watching, we got to watch the New Year's Eve game together. Then all the other games we were all back at school watching. And we had kind of like a little team sort of watch party. And Teddy Stiga was scratched the first game. And all of us who have played with him all year were like, I don't know about that. Like, is he hurt? Like something like that. But his first shot on goal of the tournament was the OT golden goal, game winner in Ottawa. It was just super cool. And to have Freebird playing in the back of that one was a pretty cool American moment, just as a fan and a teammate.
Who's your roommate?
My roommate is Will Vogt.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll edit this all, and it'll look very nice for him. Look, Pete is a diehard Boston Bruins fan, and the Canadiens have won his heart with all the stuff they've done this season. So we wish you tons of success with BC the rest of the way, and we're very excited to see what happens down the road in your pro career. Thank you very much for coming on with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
We all silly like the mayor.